Hey guys, today I'm reviewing the 64 gigabyte card by AUAMOZ. It's a micro SD card and comes with a full-size SD adapter and a protective case. I'm going to show you close up right here. You can see in the bottom left a U with a 1 in the middle. That's an ultra high class speed rating. Okay, I put this graphic up to show you the different SD speed classes. As you move up the chart, the faster the card, the more frame rates it can handle, and the higher quality, from SD resolution to high definition to full HD, 4K video, up to even 8K video. This particular card is a U1, so that's 4 up from the bottom. It can handle at least, these are minimums, it needs to handle at least 10 megabytes a second record. So I'm going to show you some test results next where we can see if this card matches up to what the listing quotes at 80 megabits a second for read and 20 megabits a second for write. Here we go. So I did some benchmark testing on 3 different software programs that ended up being surprisingly pretty consistent throughout. So I feel pretty comfortable with these numbers. You can see on this CrystalDisk that you get roughly, I'm going to round, 33 megabytes a second for read, sequential read, and 24 megabytes a second for write. And that 24 is well above the 10 minimum that we need for at least 1080p video and above. So now we'll go to the next program. So this next program is a small program to test just the average read and write speeds. It's called SpeedOut, and you can see the average sequential read speed is 32 megabytes a second, and the write speed is roughly 22 megabytes a second. So that's pretty close to the readings we had with the previous piece of software. Now we'll go on to a little bit more elaborate program next for the final benchmark test. Okay, so the third and last program is HD Tune Pro, and if I read all of this correctly, above is the transfer speed, those charts. The blue is read and the orange is write. You can see the read is pretty consistent. The write is got peaks and valleys, up, down. And the bottom chart is the block size measurement. And as you go up in block size, from 32 on, you can see those orange bars, which are the write speed, are roughly the same. So it looks like this card works best with larger blocks, which I think is basically larger file sizes, which seems to be good for video. Going back up to the top, all I can suspect is that the bottom parts of those write speeds, the very low peaks, are smaller blocks, because right now this is a random data pattern that was recorded. And then when it goes to the higher area, I'm suspecting those are the 32 block sizes and larger. And right in the middle you can see sequential. It's exactly what we had before, 33 kilobytes a second, 22 kilobytes a second for write. It's not really kilobytes, it's 22,000 kilobytes, so 22 megabytes a second. So we got very consistent results. That's good news. So last part, I'll show you some video of me driving around. Driving meaning I use a wheelchair, so you'll see the camera is mounted to my wheelchair on a gimbal, and realize it's 4K resolution, but it's 15 frames a second. So it's a little choppy. That's not the card, that's the quality of my GoPro. And with that, we'll go look at it now. Okay guys, for the last part of this video, I took some video with my GoPro 4 Silver in 4K resolution. It only goes up to 15 frames a second, as I said earlier. So I'll let you look at the video and make a decision for yourself whether this card is worth it. For me, for the price, 64 gigabytes, under $25 is a pretty good deal. There was one area only that I noticed some frames being lost. It could have been my camera, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you, I guess, to decide. Everything else seems to record pretty smoothly. You can see me bumping around quite a bit on the wheelchair. The GoPro is mounted to a gimbal to try to reduce some of the shake and wobble. And you can see the quality looks great. I did have to shrink this 4K video down to the 1920 by 1080 to be consistent with the rest of my video. So now we're going to transition to just a fence. This is where you'll see some dropouts, some glitches like right there, and I believe that's it. I'm not really sure what caused that. But overall, I'm surprised. I didn't expect this card to handle 4K video. Now, I didn't have a camera that did 30 frames a second or even 60 frames. I'm not sure if it would handle that. Based on the reviews, it sounds like it might. Here's just some slow passes of shrubbery. Just to show you the 4K resolution being recorded pretty seamlessly. And then after this is basically me driving back up the street, so you can get a final view of the quality that this card captures on a GoPro 4K 15 frames a second. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'd appreciate you to like this video and check out the product. It's definitely it's a no-name brand that I've never heard of, but you can't beat the price, and they've got a 10-year limited warranty, which is pretty spectacular. So with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.